Hey everybody, this is Jordan with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. Welcome. I am joined by my amazing co-host CJ Cabrera. Renika is off today. How you doing, CJ? Doing good, man. Doing good. And we are joined by a very special guest, Ashley Ferguson, the owner and founder of Impact the Youth, um, and also my sister. And she is joining us today to talk about her relationship with me, a guy with Crohn's disease, and then also also what she's doing with her organization. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm good, Jordan and CJ. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. So yeah, I'm good though.
Awesome, awesome. So this first off, tell us a little bit more, just about who you are for our audience, and what it's like, being my sister.
Okay, well, like as Jordan said, my name is Ashley. I grew up in Las Vegas. I was born in Louisiana, but I've been here for 28 years, so this is home. Um, like Jordan said, I'm the founder of Impact the Youth. Impact Youth is a for-profit organization that focuses on impacting the lives of millennials, Gen Z individuals, and Generation Alpha individuals nationwide and hopefully worldwide. What it's like being Jordan's little sister. Amazing. I couldn't ask for a better older brother. He's very supportive. He motivates me. He gives me a shoulder to cry on. Like he's one of my best friends. I could definitely say that. So it's good experience being a little sister of Jordan. But yeah, that's about it. That's a small gist of who I am very quickly, I guess. So yeah.
Cool, cool. And so, so just out of curiosity, so what do you know about Crohn's disease and also the colitis?
Um, I know more about Crohn's and colitis, obviously, because you're my brother. And I've
Mhm.
seen you going through surgery over the years and your struggle with Crohn's and, actually your weight loss. So I know a lot of that. And then just a little bit about colitis from the different, commercials, hearing CJ's story and other people's stories. But honestly, I didn't know much until you guys started rolling these podcasts out, and it made me more aware and doing research. And that's kind of sad, to be honest, because my brother has Crohn's. I just always knew that the gist that I did know before, finding out more was that it makes you lose weight. You eat something or immediately go into the bathroom, like just little things like that. Just obviously seeing from how you live your life and the stuff you struggle with. And yeah, it does not look fun. I tell you that. And yeah, so.
Awesome. Cool, cool. And CJ?
Uh, Witnessing Jordan go through all of that, did you ever think to yourself that you possibly did it since it has to do with
Um,
genetics?
Honestly, no, it never crossed my mind. I never, not until more recent years, I wondered like how does Crohn's come about, and learning from Jordan that there's no true catalyst to set Crohn's off or colitis off into someone that you know yeah, I never really, to be honest, no, I never thought about it. Honestly, I never thought twice, but that is why you guys are so important to getting it out there to these invisible illnesses, because for the fact that I didn't give it a second thought, but versus if Jordan had a cancer, I'd probably be like, oh my gosh, I could have cancer too, versus if he gets Crohn's, like, oh my God, I might have Crohn's, or I could be susceptible to Crohn's. And truthfully, I never gave it a thought ever. So yeah.
Yeah, there's they said as Ashley was saying, there's no known cause. There's millions of people. I think there's something about 3 million people or so in the country that have it. There's people all over the world that have it. One of the goals of our this podcast and Crohn's Veteran is just to kind of talk to everybody around the world pretty much who has it. And to kind of get those stories and get those perspectives, because so many people are kind of sitting in isolation, kind of like, man, this is a real big challenge. I need to find somebody that's kind of like me, and so we're trying to provide that. So we kind of go to our show and kind of go through our episodes and stuff. People can find hopefully somebody that has a similar journey to them, and they can find some solace in that. And so so it's cool that hearing that from you, that that we're kind of doing our job a little bit, that we're raising awareness.
Yeah, like hats off to you guys because like even like Renika, she's not here, but like I know in general it's hard to talk about bowels. So let alone someone like your whole is around that topic. And, like nobody wants to talk about that. I like what's the name of the rapper that has Crohn's? The guy that
Yeah, little Reese.
yeah, like how little Reese, like, excuse me, like shit his pants. Like the fact that no one knew that he had Crohn's. And if you did know that he had Crohn's in that situation, you would understand why that happened. And so like it's just crazy though. And no, but I commend you guys because it's not something sexy to talk about. I feel like more people would be open to talking about cancer because people are aware of what cancer is. It's not such a oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about poop. Like, that's not a big problem, but it is,
It is.
that's just a small part of what you guys go through though. And I think, even I see CJ posting all the time what he eats and talking, opening up in his, and his blogs and writing about what he deals with. Like it's inspiring. Like people need to hear that, like you said, so people can identify, and see that there's other people that are dealing with it. And what I do have to say is I think you guys are going to really bring Crohn's and colitis to the forefront because just how I think a lot of people zeroed in on breast cancer, Crohn's is slowly starting to come to the forefront. I mean, my husband and I were talking the other day, we see so many commercials for colitis and Crohn's medication. And as before, you never saw that ever.
Yeah,
And I was telling Jordan with Impact Youth, one of the things we want to do is make impact campuses that have general health services. And I was doing research for that. And I found that a lot of millennials and Gen Z and Generation Alpha are coming up with Crohn's and colitis more than ever before in history. So this is starting to be something we see more. So it's definitely important. So, yeah.
Like, I just want to circle back real quick on that. Yeah, like little Reese, to me it's like really, terrible how like, like just getting like dragging people for, just for having, a condition type thing, it's like, to me, it's like, yeah, I mean, people trying to be funny and stuff like that, but it's really not, to me, it's
It's
kind of,
not.
it's like super lame. And to me, it's like, he's, I admire him, just for rising above, ignoring all that, negative toxic energy type thing. So,
Right. For real. And
mhm.
it'd be cool like one day if you guys even get a chance to talk to him, like because like that has to be hard. Like I know it's hard for you guys, let alone in
Mhm.
public, everyone making fun of you for shitting your pants, but you're dealing with this invisible illness that
Right,
no one understands how hard it is,
right.
So I can imagine like I don't know, like I don't know with you, Jordan, and the CJ. I remember you touching on one podcast. You were touching on like your family members and how they reacted to your illness and how that was hurtful. So I can like definitely imagine like it just has to be extremely hard. So
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah. So that's why, yeah, I mean, the support system you have with, with Crohn's is, it's extremely important. I mean, you have to have people, around you that just, that kind of add to your life and don't take away.
and take it seriously as
Mhm.
a
Right,
real
right.
thing. So
Facts. I mean, it's like, I mean, you can, and that's the thing. It's like, you can't see, there's like, yeah, it's invisible illness with invisible pain, type
right.
thing. And I remember, yeah, just trying to like tell a doctor, like, this is how much it hurts. Like, well, no, I don't think it hurts that, but what, how would you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's crazy. Everybody has a unique experience. So I mean, so we're trying over here, to do, what we can to, raise awareness. And it is, I think, then the idea is, beyond awareness to, hopefully, money and, resources and funds and stuff to actually not only change people's lives, but, like chronitis, the cure Crohn's and colitis, I think, foundation, they have, they all the money for them literally goes to finding a cure type thing.
Yeah.
So like, so that kind of stuff is really important to me, and to me, important Crohn's better is like, actually putting money into the organizations to actually, hopefully, get some therapies and some things that actually, can change the quality of life for people too. Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, mhm. So, and so yeah, so tell me a little. So, yeah, so change the subject a little bit more. And so, yeah, so tell me a little bit more about, so impact the youth. And I said again, where, where that, organization, comes from. And I know you kind of touched on some, a little bit of the areas about it, but, in an ideal world, in 3 years or whatever, 5 years, where would you like to see that?
Well, I'll start from where Impact Youth came from and, the idea of it. And that is just, I love kids. I've always loved kids. I'm a mom. I have 4 kids myself. I just love kids, whether it's little kids, teenagers, Jordan, as you know, my background, I went to school for special education. I worked in a high risk school for 3 years where we had sex abuse victims, we had predators. We had the youngest sex offender in Nevada history at our school, and he was only in the 6th grade. So yeah, so I just have a passion for children and just a passion for making a difference. I used to want 8 kids, but now the reality of having 4, I'm like, hell no. So I could give back the kids in a bigger way. One of the reasons I moved from teaching was the financial aspect of it, but being an entrepreneur, you have to have a philanthropic goal. And I just love children and I love special needs. So I was like, oh my gosh, I want to impact kids. Like, what can I do? I was like, dude, I just want to impact the youth. And I was like, impact the youth. So that's really like where it came from. If you guys know me and you two know me, and if you see the names of a lot of stuff, I'm such a literal person. So I was like, just impact the youth. And it just, I was like, what do we want to do? I want to make an impact. So that's like really where it came from. But to touch on what the mission is and where I would love to see ourselves in 3 to 5 years, I would say to have impact campuses. We want to fight homelessness for youths and for millennials that have families. I'm a millennial myself. Jordan's at the top of the spectrum for millennium, and now CJ, you're a millennial. So I just really wanted to find a way to impact us. So I would want to have the housing done. We want to give scholarship, athletic and academic scholarships to high school students and even to middle school students that are going to high school, because there's a lot of charter schools. There's a lot of private schools that kids don't have a chance to attend. So we want to find multiple ways to give back. We want to make impact campuses that will have general health and mental health services, as well as affordable childcare, because a lot of people can't even have jobs because they don't have childcare. And in low income households, this is always an ongoing issue, is, lack of funds for childcare means lack of adequate jobs. And so it just, those are the type of things I would love to see in 3 to 5 years be up and running. Most importantly, having an actual impact campus where at least 1 or 2 here in Las Vegas, where we're launching and where, we're headquartered out of, is having a campus that has those things where people can come and get affordable childcare, where people can come and get general and mental health services, as well as shop at our food banks. We want to open food banks that are somewhat like mini grocery stores where people can come in and get free food, as well as very, very low discounted food, because there's food deserts all across this country. There's tons of kids in the Vegas Valley alone that don't have food. They literally, the only time they eat is when they go to school. And those are issues that Impact Youth wants to tackle. And the for-profit part of our organization is getting into real estate. I want to have real estate, low-income communities across the country. And we would really want to make these eco-friendly and conscious when we build them. So meaning all the houses having solar panels, using containers to recycle with small homes, just so many different things we want to attack. So I would say in a nutshell, that's where I would love to see at least 1 community open and 1 impact campus open, and us giving scholarships to young kids that help them grow and deal with what they're dealing with. So yeah, and we also tend to highlight academic standouts and athletic standouts in the millennial generation and the Gen Z generation and the Generation Alpha generation, because there's so many kids that wouldn't make it if they just had a little bit of shine, a little bit of help, whether it's getting a scholarship, athletic or academic, or that's, hell, there's other ways to make money, whether you want to be a streamer, whether you want to open a construction company, whatever the case may be, we want to help you. So that's where it comes from. I just love kids, plain and simple. And I have kids myself, and I want to build a better future for our future, because children are the future. And I think society, honestly, in the last couple of years, I feel like the younger generations have gotten lost in the sauce and lost in the shuffle with all the bullshit of society. And we're just throwing tablets in their faces and just saying, here, shut up. And I feel like there's no emphasis on kids like it used to be, and I'm just trying to bring that back. I'm trying to bring back the 90s where everybody cared if a kid's going hungry, if everybody cared if a kid had a place to live. So that's where that comes from for me, seeing kids I worked with show up at the school at 4 a.m. because their mom kicked them out because the boyfriend was drunk and they got in a fight. Here this kid is in the 5th grade, no clothes, no jacket, in the middle of winter, hasn't eaten all night, and he had to sleep outside the school. So those are the type of things that I'm trying to combat and support with kids across the country. So
very cool, very noble, Ashley. So yeah, so thank you for elaborating on that. And and of course, to our audience, and if you want to support Ashley on her mission, please reach out to her directly. On her Instagram, you're at AA was it underscore Ferguson?
Yeah, AA_Ferguson, and then Impact Youth is at Impact Youth. Literally all lowercase at Impact Youth.
Awesome. And then reach out to her to support her, to help make that real. And I've seen her in her merch and stuff already, so it's pretty cool. And so a lot of really fun stuff. Check it out. You'll be supporting a great cause, and impacting people's lives and stuff. And so thanks for that. And so also I think with that, oh, that's a little brain fart there.
No worries.
With that, talking about how to be like services, disability.
Yes, that's part of the health service, general and mental health services. So we're going to have a lot. The plan is to have a range of services, especially in special needs. I have two brothers, our Jordan's twin brother Morgan, and then I won't go into specifics, and then my other older brother Curtis, who's also special needs. We have a sister that falls under that umbrella. I fell under that umbrella. There's such a huge spectrum, from someone that's physically disabled with special needs to autism to ADHD to ADD. So yes, to answer your question, we'll have services for all of those individuals that fall under the various spectrum of what is special needs. Because working and getting my associates in it and working in special needs, people don't understand how such of a broad thing special needs is. Most people think autistic are like the severe side of things. So yeah, we definitely are going to have multiple services geared towards that. And the plan is to find different healthcare professionals, whether it's therapists, psychiatrists, whatever the case may be, general practitioners, whatever, is to kind of offer their services at a discount, or either, pro bono. My mother's a physician herself. So, my plan is to use the leverage of all the doctors I know, start at home here in Vegas, and just, pass it on.
It would definitely be cool to, impacting the youth and impacting the Crohn's IBD youth, right?
Yeah, and like I told Jordan, he knows I dabble in cannabis too. That's for another conversation. But even with stuff we've talked about with different cannabis companies that could help people with Crohn's or colitis, that's another way I would love to cross over and collab with the two of you. And I won't give anything away, but we know what we're all talking about. But it's just those things, finding different revenue streams to give back, because like David Meltzer says, as long as you make money, help a lot of people, but have a lot of fun doing it. And so what's the point of making all this money if you can't help people?
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what we believe over here too. That's kind of mission. The mission here is to create revenue streams to be able to fill not only our own cups, but to allow all that good fortune to overflow on other people and change their lives too. That's definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I have a question for both of you. So what is one way, if you guys could snap your fingers and impact the youth of America, what's one thing that you would change and impact overnight if you could?
Yeah, me personally would be just having more education around IBD and Crohn's, and and healthy eating, just food programs. I think First Lady Michelle Obama was trying to do a whole lot of that when she was her husband was in office and stuff. And I think just emphasizing because Crohn's is some people think that diet can trigger the pre-existing
Gene,
getting IBD and stuff. But so to me, just education on what causes IBD, the symptoms, all those kind of things, and so people can avoid being rushed to the hospital, like my case type thing.
Yeah.
And so so to me, just education and funding for IBD and nutrition and in mental health.
Okay. What about you, CJ?
For me, it would be healthcare. I know a lot of people have the available funds to hospital.
Yeah, I like that. I like what you said about healthcare, because that's one thing I want to do. Is I want to reach out to like a Blue Cross Blue Shield or Humana or like just different insurance companies to be like, hey, one way that you guys can give back and give donations is just donate, like, start a fund to literally do what CJ was saying, is give people money to, deal with these health issues. Because I know, like Jordan talks about the bills of medication monthly, not to mention checkups, unexpected surgeries. I mean, and yeah, some families are brought to financial ruin just by hospital bills, and it's not their fault.
Yeah, facts. I mean, many families are, yeah, brought to, excuse me, yeah, brought to financial ruin, from bills and stuff. And I said IBD. Yeah, if I had three wishes, that would be the second wish. Is to be able to reach in your pocket and pull out the exact amount for all your bills.
Right, and I think people lack compassion when it comes to medical bills and people dealing with that issue when this type of stuff comes up, because they're only worried about their bottom line, when there's plenty of room to be compassionate for people to pay these bills back and to help them out. But it's just creating those opportunities for people, and what better to team up with the companies that are bleeding you dry, honestly. Just being black and white about it, you know what I mean? Like, if you guys really want to make a difference, you guys have all these heartful commercials and stuff, then create a fund and give back to the people that can't afford to literally save their lives or save their child's life. Like, you're talking about a humanitarian issue, really, at the end of the day. When other countries offer free healthcare services, why can't we do the same and have compassion for people that need help?
Health services. Creating funds, just creating funds. That's something that's interesting to me too. Is just creating funds to be able to, do something what CJ is doing, or CJ's idea, to be able to financially impact, to be able to literally cover the cost, or to be able to, reach out and say, hey, here's my bill or whatever, and say, can you help me, type thing.
Yeah.
So that thing, and really just make it really easy and helpful. So that'll be
another thing to piggyback off of, like, a fund. Another thing, like with the impact thing that I didn't really highlight on, is like childcare. That's another huge issue in society, because you have so many young people having kids so young, and then these girls have no one to help watch their children, and then everyone's stuck to these random jobs, or you get a good job and you can't work at night. So one thing that we want to focus on with childcare is something that most childcare facilities don't do, and that's offer 24-hour care. So if you're someone that needs to go work a late shift, or what's it called, graveyard, that's what I'm saying, graveyard shift, you have a safe place to take your kids. There's way too many latchkey kids in this country. My husband was one where his mom was like, all right, go watch Scooby-Doo in my room. Don't open the door for anyone. No, that needs to stop. Like, I never understood why there was never any overnight childcare. I feel like that's a whole market that no one ever paid attention to. But I think with millennials and generations below, with us taking unorthodox jobs and us having a lot of different jobs that didn't exist 10 years ago, the way we look and construct things needs to be different. We all need to just kind of move forward and to reevaluate the social constructs and the constructs of society that help people move forward in their life. And I think that's, another major goal of Impact to Youth, is making people rethink how they do things to make impact.
Very cool. Oh, awesome. I'm looking forward to, what you're going to do with that, Ashley. I sincerely am. With Impact the Youth, I think it's going to be an amazing organization. I know you're going to do really cool stuff.
Thank you.
And so I with that, I think it's been about half an hour or so, and so I think and I know that you have you're a busy woman with that's moving and shaking and stuff like that. So so I'm gonna let you get on to your other obligations. Once again, to people that are listening, if you felt that this episode was of value, if you want to support CJ and I and Renika and the Crohn's Veteran podcast, please, of course, like this show, subscribe to our show, check out our our YouTube account. We're on www.crohnsveteran.com. We have an amazing Teespring store that has Crohn's and colitis gear on it. You can check it out. Our podcast is on all platforms. We have two great seasons. We're getting into our third season now. So please support us. We appreciate the love. And Ashley, thank you again so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're an amazing sister. I love you to death. And and I know personally that you're gonna do amazing things.
Thank you, bro. I love you too. And CJ, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me.